green flag at the back. So this is a 15-minute race for round 1 of the 116 Sprint Championship for 2024, and it gets underway. And it's a very even start from the front row, which is Matthew Highcock and Peter Keane. That car that was having problems on the green flag lap has made a good start, coming around the outside. Hopcroft Lopez and the rest of the 30-odd BMWs plunge into Paddock Hill Bend for the first time, with the pole position driver Matthew Highcock leading the way, but Matt Priestwood is up to second, so he's got ahead of Peter Keane in through Paddock Hill Bend. There's a car that's arriving with 2 wheels on the grass, which is 83, I think, or maybe 80.
Yeah, it was 83, I think it was, up the inside.
So 83 with James Cannon.
Yes.
Who was right in the mid-pack. They're 3 abreast coming out of Graham Hill Bend again for something like 10th position. On the inside in that group, 86, I think, Pete Brand. So this is pretty lively in the middle. Some of the team DTO Motorsport cars haven't got themselves together.
And there are 4 of those with the same liveries, aren't they? Here's a change up the inside. The car on the inside got very squirrely for a moment. Got the power down though. A challenge for the lead.
Yeah, Matt Priestwood, who started 3rd, going for the lead into Paddock Hill Bend on the inside of poleman Matthew Highcock, and he might get hung out to dry here because he's got Peter Keane in the wheel tracks of Priestwood as they go through Paddock Hill Bend. But Highcock is hanging it out on the outside line, but I don't think it's going to be good enough to keep the teenager Priestwood. Well, he's going to have another go, isn't he, Highcock, round the outside, but he's too late for the hairpin, Marcus. And he's lost the lead.
He has, and but Priestwood came on really well last year, didn't he? And he's looking very strong. There's a change potentially at the inside, not quite close enough to Keane. That'll be Abraham, I think, in 4th place. But here they come then, with Mac Priestwood ahead of Matthew Highcock, the poleman. And then there's a 3-way scrap. A change for 4th place there. And that's Ethan Hall, lost his bonnet in practice, went up over the screen, obscured it, and that's the bright car with the day glow flashes on it of Ethan Hall in 5th place.
And he coming with him is Simon Hopcroft Lopez. Remember, had that problem, the green flag lab. He started 12th, he's up to something like 6th. 105 is off the road, which is Michael Lavery up at Druids. He's going to get back going. But Hopcroft Lopez, I think, has also got a transponder issue because he's not being registered at the moment on our screen. The 320 is up in this lead group, which has been led by Matt Priestwood. He and Matthew Highcock have got away now from Peter Keane, who's 3rd. Ethan Hall up to 4th. Will Abraham is the driver who dropped down the order. He's 5th, but back ahead of Simon Hopcroft Lopez, not currently showing on our timing screen. And also in this battle is James Waring, the youngest driver on the grid, just 16 years of age, who raced at the Wilton Mill Kart Club last season and going well there in something like 7th position, battling with the now car that's not featuring on our screen, Simon Hopcroft Lopez, but is featuring on the circuit.
Yeah, that's indicative of some talent, isn't it? Coming out of karting and then stepping into one of these as a teenager and running very strongly in the top 8.
Yeah, he's in the car that Andre Ballesteros raced last season, and he says he wants to be a GT racer. There's a car in the pit lane, and at this point, I'm obliged to say, from Great Dunmow, Paul Offord in the pit lane. New fastest lap of the race, Matt Priestwood, the lead, has done a 1:02.14, which is just outside the lap record for these cars, and he's 3/4 of a second now, ahead of Matthew Highcock. The 2 of them are pulled clear of Peter Keane in 3rd. 4th is Ethan Hall, 5th is Will Abraham. A gap back to Paul Whiten, who's in 6th there, 2:32. Getting very close to the back car ahead. That was Jonathan Baker right on the bumper of Daniel Scott. That's for 10th position. Scott ahead at the moment as they go through Graham Hill Bend. Further up the road, side by side for 4th position. Well, Abraham was on the inside of Ethan Hall. So that's a good scrap that's going on. Both for Will Abraham, pretty young driver who's getting more and more experience, was a winner here last year in this same race, and he may well have just picked up a spot to go ahead of Ethan Hall. He has, and Hall's lost another spot because Simon Hopcroft Lopez is up to 6th. Another, though, aimshop.com fastest lap for Matt Priestwood, who's got a second ahead of the rest.
And that's Waring, isn't it, coming up? Is it Waring or is it, get the number?
Might be Whiten
in the red car.
That's right.
Yes, that's Whiten, the Drury Lane car.
And just behind them on the novice cross is James Waring.
Is Waring.
So 1:153 for Priestwood, which I think is a new lap record for BMW 116s here at Brands Hatch. And he's got a 1.1 second advantage over Matthew Highcock. We're only on lap 5. It feels like a lot has happened during the course of those 5 laps.
Yeah, certainly has. It's never a dull moment in this type of one-make racing, particularly at a tight circuit like the brand's Indy circuit, where the whole pack can be compressed so easily by traffic.
And it suits these cars, this circuit, I think. They're low-powered cars with sort of short straights on this circuit. It really suits these cars well. Up to 4th, there is Will Abraham, who's the latest driver, I think, with a transponder issue that is struggling on our screens. But he's caught Peter Keane for 3rd. He's trying to go around the outside. He's set the fastest lap of the race. It's gone under a minute. I don't think we've ever seen one of these cars go under a minute around here before. 59.974. Will Abraham sets the aimshot.com fastest lap of the race, and he's caught Peter Keane for 3rd position. So this is a great effort for Abraham, who did drop back, I think, in the early stages, but he's fighting back really well, Marcus.
Yeah, he is, and he looks really racy right now. He's found a sweet spot in that car, and he's getting more and more confident. But that sub-minute lap for the car that we can see at the back of our screen there. Will Abraham, he's in the slipstream now of the 151, which is Peter Keane. Sweeps to the outside, up over that compression, and dives down past the lap runner, skittering through the apex of paddock corner. You can hear the tyres chirruping.
But Peter Keane stayed ahead at this stage. Keane, who formerly raced it from C1, just switched to BMW 116s. And he's on the inside line for Graham Hill Bend. A better run out of the hairpin for Abraham, but he can't make anything of it. As they start to scrap, the top 2 have 2.3 seconds ahead now. Highcock ahead of Keane, and in the background Simon Hopcroft Lopez not that far back in P5, another 1.2 seconds at the start of the lap. Abraham all over the back of Keane. He goes to wide line into clearways to try and get the momentum through the corner and accelerate off the bend better than the car ahead.
Yeah, he took some good apex speed there, and suddenly he's up on the back bumper, so he's close enough, but is he pulled out too early in the straight to make this happen? He's got his nose ahead, got a bumper ahead, but he hasn't got that territory to get it back into the apex. And they're side by side through the apex, but round the outside, nosing ahead. That was very tight under braking there, as 151 kind of decided to cede. That was Peter Keane. And a new 3rd place man then is Will Abraham.
Yeah, it was a move that took a long way to get there. And so often you see here at Brands Hatch, you have to start the move sort of half a lap earlier, and that's what he did, taking that wide line through clearways. That's where it all begun. And he had the momentum to get alongside through paddock. Peter Keane gave him racing room through paddock, which helped him on that outside line, had the momentum up towards Druid, and as you say, Peter Keane elected to break the step a little bit earlier.
Cost them some ground, hasn't it? It's a long chase now of the first 2, Mac Priestwood and Matthew Highcock.
And the 2 of them are 2.2 seconds apart now, because Priestwood has pulled clear of Highcock. Then it's Abraham in 3rd after making that move on Keane. Behind them, a change forwards that 6th position. Paul Whiten goes up the inside of Ethan Hall, runs out wide up over the curbs. His car 10, Paul Whiten. Has he got 6th position secured? Well, no, because Ethan Hall is on the inside in the mint liveried 116, and back ahead he goes then. So Ethan Hall briefly lost 6th position, but back ahead by the time they got to the hairpin.
Yep, the classic FX car of Ethan Hall. None the worse for that bonnet shooting up this morning. He drove it very gingerly back to the pits, had it all secured, and was back on track a few minutes later.
It's got a different logo on each side of the car. Classic FX on the right-hand side, you're saying. It says Mint on the other side. So one of those cars that you can sort of be confused what you're looking at from one angle to another. But still in 6th position is Ethan Hall ahead of Paul Whiten. But Whiten again has got a good run up across the start and finish line with just over 5 minutes of the race to go. Whiten on the outside line, going to try and get to the apex. It completely misses the apex, so he isn't as quick through the corner as he hoped to be. So Ethan Hall stays in 6th and ahead of Paul Whiten. We're behind them now, James Waring closing in, the 16-year-old student from Lancashire who only started karting 2 years ago. He's up there in 8th. Behind them battles trying to be inside the top 10. In 10th currently is Peter Brand, but rubbing him the 232 car involved in this is Jonathan Baker, and Baker goes through into Graham Hill Bend, but runs wide. And will probably lose that position by the time they get to 30s.
Yeah, it's all about momentum, and that next one behind them is trying to follow through.
Daniel Scott's the third car involved in this, and they're going to be free abreast as they go down towards Clearways, which isn't something you see very often, particularly in sort of tin top style racing. And Baker has got 10th back then from Brand, and Brand might lose his position to Scott. Daniel Scott on the inside line through Clark Curve. And up towards Paddock they come. They're all chasing 47 and catching Connor Anderson. So this is going to be a four-way battle shortly for 9th spot. So Brand has dropped to the back of it. Just getting out of line. And then two cars come through, Jonathan Baker and Daniel Scott. Peter Brand's car could almost be one of those 116s you see on the motorway. It's almost got no branding on it other than the championship sponsors. They've got Laser Tools number plates this year as well. Battle up at Clearways. This is for 6th position again. Ethan Hall versus Paul Whiten, with James Waring not far back. A wide line there from Hall. Is that going to give Whiten the opportunity to come up the inside through Clark Curve? I think it has done. And the Drury Lane BMW looks like he's going to be slotting in to 6th position by the time they get to Paddock. Meanwhile, Will Abraham's done another better lap, 59.96. He is catching Matthew Highcock. He's 1.5 seconds behind him. I think that was double that earlier, Marcus.
Yeah, he's certainly making some good ground now. So 11 laps in.
Yeah, we've still got the 15-lap race probably this.
Yeah, 3¼ minutes to go.
Someone's had a huge spin out of Graham Hill Bend. I just caught out to the corner of my eye. There it is, 106 was that? Something like that. No, well, it's 186. Pete Brand, who was in that battle we were watching earlier. Oh no, 186 is the Pettis car, apologies. Rather than 86, similar livery. So I think it's the Pettis car that had the spin. But this is the battle we saw Paul Whiten get past Ethan Hall a few moments ago. James Waring trying to join in on this battle. Meanwhile, the leaders have gone across the line, 3.1 seconds apart. Matt Priestwood's got into the 59s now. There's Peter Keane in 4th. He's under pressure from Simon Hopcroft Lopez, just gone through our shot. Ahead of this battle for 6th. Let's have a look at this battle for 4th position. Peter Keane, who started on the front row of the grid, I think he's got pole for round 2 later. He's just dropped down the order a little bit. He's down to 4th, 9 seconds behind the leader. And with Simon Hopcroft Lopez, who has been the driver who's moved forwards in this race from 12th on the grid. And yeah, Keane, who was quickest in the wet second session, not going as well in the dry conditions. Continues to come under pressure.
I think Waring is from that that dynasty of racers from the Northwest. Andrew Waring, the famous historic Formula One racer and historic Can-Am racer. He's raced for, oh crikey, 50 years plus. And they come from that area of Lancashire.
Yeah, from Garston, James Waring. There's Will Abraham. Is he going to catch Matthew Highcock before the end? A big slide through Paddock Hill Bend. It's been an impressive drive this from Abraham.
Yeah, Priestwood has joined him under a minute now in terms of laps. They're the only two who've got beneath 60 seconds round here.
I think he's going to run out of laps, isn't he? This is the penultimate lap of the race, we think.
Yeah, he's running out of laps and running out of rear grip by the look of things. There's Ethan Hall.
Yeah, so he's dropped away from Paul Whiten after Whiten passed him, and now he's coming under threat from James Waring. Here is Abraham, though, in the CSC racing car, son of Paul Abraham, who races this car on occasions too, the ex-Fun Cup racer. And just ahead of them, going on to the last lap of the race, is Matt Priestwood. Last lap board goes out. We haven't seen much of Matt of this race since he got past in the early stages. Remember, he only qualified 3rd. He's now 3.4 seconds ahead of Matthew Highcock, with Will Abraham 3rd. And they've got a bit of traffic potentially on this last lap of the race too. But there's Priestwood, the race leader in the Spray Tech liveried car. Mac, who joined the 116 I think a couple of years ago from off-road racing, unusual way into circuits. Highcock, he's sliding around too now, and he has been caught by Will Abraham, but it's going to have to be a last corner attack if Abraham's going to be able to pull this off.
It's going to have to be engineered from now so that he can get a quicker exit, Will Abraham, off clearways here. What he's done, he's got the power on early, and here he comes. But was that a slight stutter of the car in front? I wonder if he missed a gear there or just didn't quite get the acceleration he expected. There's Mac Priestwood, who has won, but it is a very, very close finish for third. Matthew Highcock second. Will Abraham is there in third place, just a quarter of a second behind, and then Peter Keen fourth. Hopcroft Lopez fifth, Whiten sixth, Hall, Waring, Baker and Scott completing the top 10.
4-second winning margin then for Mac Priestwood. A pretty faultless drive there from young Mac to beat Matthew Highcock, who just held on that last lap at 0.26 of a second ahead of Will Abraham. The cars are still flowing across the line. Such is the size of this entry, and with everyone still running, that one car that had pitted has got back going. So I think all 32 cars that started are going to take the checkered flag. So that's a fantastic effort from everybody. Very high standard quality of driving in that race, considering the inexperience on the grid. So congratulations to everybody there, really, because that race won very smoothly. Indeed, there was some great racing throughout the pack.
Yeah, David Hudson, who had that moment in qualifying, damaged the side of his car. He's managed to bring it home in 20th place, a couple of places behind Ben Sneed. There's the result then. 173, Mac Priestwood wins it from 555 Matthew Highcock, 209 Will Abraham, 151 Peter Keen was fourth, fifth 320 Simon Hopcroft Lopez, sixth was number 10 Paul Whiten, seventh 25 Ethan Hall, eighth 228 James Waring, ninth 23 Jonathan Baker, 10th 48 Daniel Scott, 11th 47 Connor Anderson, 12th 86 Pete Brand, 13th 34 Toby O'Reilly, and in 14th place 31 Sam Holman. 15th was Liam Brezett, 16th Ayrton Redfern, drive through the field, 17th was Neil Fox, 18th where he started was Ben Snee in 333, 19th in fact David Hudson's come off on that last lap, got a place back, 20th Harry Miles, saw it a moment earlier on, Sean Frey, Ben Dobbs, James Poole, Steve Lloyd, Jacob Novak, James Cannon, Tristan Rogers. Our next one's through then, John Turner, Michael Lavery, Carl Patters, Callum Davis and Paul Offord. All 32 got to the end. Last runner 2 laps down.
Yeah, it's a great stuff that from the 116 Sprint Championship. We'll see them out later on today. If you're here at the circuit, we'll be going into a lunch break next. You're due to resume racing in about 40 minutes time with the TGR Type R trophy. If you're watching on 750 Motor Club TV, I think we're going to try and catch up with some people throughout the pit lane as well during the course of the next half an hour or so. But for now, we'll head down to Kieran, who's in the pit lane, and hopefully we'll be able to catch up with our race winners this time.
Thank you very much, and of course the 116 is to never fail to deliver. And our winner, Mac, fantastic race. How was it for you?
It was great. We got moves done early in the race, and we just built on the gap from there. I mean, it's a really good start. Last year, we're now official Sprint Championship from last year. Just a good start.
Obviously, quite a dominant performance as well. You really managed to build that gap. Does that give you confidence going into the remainder of the weekend?
It certainly does. I mean, the remainder of the weekend, we think we'll see some rain, so it's going to be a mix again, but definitely good confidence going into the next one.
How's your confidence with the rain? Obviously, 'cause the track this morning was a little bit damper. How's the track today now and during that race? And then how are you confident? How's your confidence going into the wet weather sessions?
I mean, the dry, which pretty much is great. It's a 4-second gap, so but the rain, I used to race on dirt, so it's kind of second nature, so it's good to be all right, I think. So hoping for the best.
Excellent. Well, congratulations and good luck for the rest of the weekend. Thank you. Now, if we move on to second place, Mr. Matthew Hitchcock, fantastic race for you. You, for a while there, you looked quite solid in second. Then towards the end there, you had William really closing up to you. Yeah. So how was it for you?
It was good. Car wasn't quite right. I had it set up for the wet this morning, and then changed it for this race because it was drying out. But the back end was loose, especially coming into paddock, so I just couldn't hold on to it.
How confidence going in for the remainder of the races? Do you think you can catch Mac?
Maybe. I'm going to have to do some changes to the car, but he's going very well today, so I don't know. I mean, we're on some old scrub tyres as well, so maybe change the tyres, change the alignment, go from there, see how it goes. But
Excellent. Congratulations. Good luck for the rest of the weekend then. Thank you. Right, if we go and find Mr. William Abraham now, who's just over here. And William had quite an interesting race. He was battling for third for quite a while. And just saying you had quite a big battle for third for a while, and then you just absolutely got the hammer down, fast lap after fastest lap. That must give you some really good confidence for the rest of the weekend.
Yes and no. I mean, it's supposed to rain, so we'll see. If it's dry, then I'll be confident because I'm starting a bit further ahead in the next one. But it was a good race, lots of battling. Very close over the line with Matt, and yeah, I just really enjoyed it, to be honest. Yeah, it's great fun.
How are the track conditions now? Obviously earlier it was a wet session. How are you finding it now?
I think it's actually grippier than it was when I was testing yesterday. I think it's just because there's less rubber down. These tyres don't do well with rubber, especially for single seaters. So, yeah, I thought there was a bit more grip, and the balance of the car was different. I think everyone had the same thing. Me and Matt were both had quite big subway moments throughout the race. So, yeah, it was cool.
Do you reckon you can take it to the leaders for the race tomorrow?
Don't know. We'll see. Hopefully.
Well, good luck for the rest of the weekend then. And then we'll be going to the lunch break actually after that, so we'll see you in just a few minutes.